Hi, this is Kimberly. These are my final thoughts on the shameless book, Letters from Christopher, Tragic Confessions of the Watts Family Murders. This so-called book is by Cheryln Cadle. I hope to never talk about this clusterfuck again. You will see why I say that in a moment. I would like to begin with a disclaimer. I saw one yesterday when I was reading, peeking at that new Daddy Zero book. I started to want to feel all important and stuff, the same as that big time author with all of the degrees and achievements. Well, she had a disclaimer in her book and it made me all resentful and envious and stuff. But there she is being all successful, and then a stroke of genius came to me. I decided to get one of those disclaimer things, so I too could make a statement that denies something, especially responsibility. That's what Cadle Scribe needed to do for her book. Y'all don't tell her, it'll piss me the fuck off. She does not deserve it. You will completely understand in a minute. Listen up, y'all. Got your ears on? I thought this was going to be short and sweet, this video. But no, I have to tell y'all something and you can't tell anyone, okay? Because I'm not trying to do a smear campaign on copycat Cadle Scribe. Well, yeah, I probably am. She deserves it. And this is where I want to use one of those disclaimer things. I am not responsible for what this may lead to. And I'm not one to engage in gossip. And this is not gossip. This is the truth. And it's the true truth, just like Chris and shit said. This is the true truth. But I accidentally uncovered a possible scandal when I was doing research on, of all things, moral responsibility. I think this would be a good place to take an ad break. I like to act dramatic when the occasion presents itself. But seriously, I'm not going to do that unless they automatically do a mid-roll. But this is serious. It's unethical, unscrupulous, shameless, flagrant, of possible consequence, far-reaching, and so on and so forth and what have you. Not to mention that it pisses me the fuck off. But it's no joke. Listen to this shit that I'm about to read. In fact, I was going to give this its very own video, but I went back and forth with this. Then I have decided to do this as one final video because I can't stand any more of this bullshit. I'm going to do my best to organize my thoughts and be done with it. If it's all over the place, I apologize, because I started off with one thing and ended up with another because it took me where I was not expecting to go. So, I cannot think rationally or calmly due to being overwhelmed or overcome with emotion and mental exhaustion from what was this so-called book. I'm going to read something to you in all seriousness. Please listen carefully, as this is where I'm going with the entire video. I'll get back to ranting and raving, I promise. Okay, so this is what I wanted to read to you. Quote, "The great challenge for any true crime writer involves drafting a page-turning story that reads like well-crafted literature and simultaneously survives the most detailed of fact checks. It is an impossible endeavor because it carries the assumption that truth is discernible at all levels, and 100% of the facts can always be known. Like all forms of art, true crime literature seeks to capture what is non-discernible. Paradoxically, without fabricated layers of myth and conjecture, truth laid bare is not really truth at all. We are at the mercy of the killer to tell us what is deep in his mind, and hope he hasn't kept some of the truths hidden where we can't know them." End quote. Now, where do you think this came from? If you said from Letters from Christopher, you are 100% correct. But if you said His Garden, Conversations with a Serial Killer by Anne K. Howard, you are also 100% correct. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Just when I thought I could not be any more disgusted by Scribble, I dug up some new shit on her. Her integrity, or lack thereof, is astounding. There is more that she has plagiarized. This is only the beginning. Ironically, it was this plagiarized sentence that got her caught. I wanted to read up on moral responsibilities, as that is what I would have done if I were writing a book such as this. She said in her book, quote, "I wasn't sure what my moral responsibilities were with the information he was giving me. I didn't want to be the one who hurt anyone else, and this information clearly would hurt many people." End quote. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. I know what a jacked up back feels like, and I'm pissed off for that camel. Her first sentence of chapter 1 was also copied from His Garden, Conversations with a Serial Killer by Anne K. Howard. Quote, I took a deep breath before writing my first letter. End quote. I'm going to show you pictures of the side-by-side comparisons at the end of this video, because I'm not going to read all of this crap that she lifted. Now mind you, she lifted from not only the discovery files, which yes, you're going to use that. You don't need to copy it letter for letter. She copied from the transcript of the Wisconsin interview. She even copied the weather report that she put in her book. She copied from many websites, and all of the stuff that I showed that she copied from this woman's book, Anne K. Howard, His Garden, Conversations with a Serial Killer. This is only from the free sample that I downloaded from Amazon, and I found it, as I said, quite by accident when I was searching for moral responsibilities from what Cadle was rambling on about in her book, which incidentally she copied that sentence as well. So, like I said, I had a hard time organizing my thoughts because I was just blind with rage, really. But a large portion of Copycat Cadle's introduction was copied. Remember a video or two ago, I jokingly said that after I found out that she did chapter after chapter, that it was a direct lift from Discovery, I was like, well, I bet if I go back to her introduction and stuff, it'll be copied too. So this book, where she didn't get it from the letters or Discovery, is just blatantly plagiarized from Anne K. Howard's book, His Garden, Conversations with a Serial Killer. Her first sentence of chapter 1 was copied from her. Quote, I took a deep breath before writing my first letter, end quote. So this is probably where she got the idea to write to Chris Asshat Watts. Anne K. Howard took about 3 years of research in writing her book. It's a 4-star review on Amazon. The author painstakingly pieced together years' worth of personal research and interviews. This lady went about her book in the way it is normally done, with conducting interviews with witnesses and law enforcement. She took exploratory trips. She went to the scene of the crime. She did stuff like that. 3 years she worked on this book. This is why Scribble was able to get her so-called book out so fast. I hope to hell she's not proud of it, but she's so damn oblivious. I'm sure she is. I want her 11 grandchildren to know about this. I was going to say that Cadle Scribe's book was poorly written, but actually, it's just an inability to copy and paste correctly. She is the queen of fucking up copy-paste. It was hastily thrown together. It's laughable, only I'm not laughing. But if I tried hard enough, I might be able to conjure up some vulgarity about it. I'm beyond disgusted. Both Chris and Shit and Scribbles, well, they are a couple of pussies. Pussycats. One is a copycat and the other is a fraidy cat. This video is by no means all-inclusive. I in no doubt will find more and more and more if I continue looking for it, but I won't. I have better things to do with my time. I thought it was merely a failure of citing sources, which is plagiarism. Rewriting someone's work without properly citing sources, using quotations but not citing the source, interweaving various sources together into the work without citing. Did she think because it was self-published she didn't have to do any of the normal shit? But this isn't like interweaving it and failing to cite sources. This is blatant copying. She changed that serial killer's name to Chris's name. What do you want to bet that Scribbles was that girl in high school, rushing in the last minute? No one likes her, but she has no homework done, and she bully or nags someone into letting her copy from them. And you know what? Those kids that did that, I hope it comes back to bite them in the ass in the adulting world. She needs to quit referring to herself as an author. Let's talk about the truth. The author wouldn't know the truth if it bit her on the ass. She talks about truth a lot in her completely plagiarized, substandard, contradictory, I don't give a damn piece of poorly written fiction. And it is copied shit from the real author, the author that did years of work. This just pisses me to no end. The only kind of writing she puts forth makes no sense. Inability to clearly explain shit. Then she tosses in shocking and dramatic supposings and must have felts. It's a pure lackluster disgrace. I was going to give it 2.5 stars, but no. Why the hell can't we just do 0 stars? Just like Kristen's shit. He's a total fucking 0. The rest of this will just be me rattling off some shit so I can be done with this. I am intensely irritated and frustrated with this scribe, copyist, copycat Cadle, Cadle scribe, etc., etc., etc. Anything except for an author. The witch did not fact check. One of the plagiarized sentences says, quote, "The great challenge for any true crime writer involves drafting a page-turning story that reads like a well-crafted literature and simultaneously survives the most detailed of fact checks." She is just so full of shit. How could she? How could she live with herself? If I had to come up with one word to describe this book, other than clusterfuck, it would be plagiarism. Infringement of copyright, stealing, taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as one's own. It's goddamn immoral. It is a serious ethical violation. It's dishonest. You said you were writing a book, Scribble. You lack morals. You need to research that damn moral obligation bullshit that you were talking about. That's what got you caught. That's karma. Have I been fair to the author? Yes, I'm a very fair person. Have I been overly critical? No. Do I regret buying the book? Yes. Would I recommend it? Hell no. I was going to count up the chapters that she copied from Discovery in the Wisconsin interview because that's what I thought it was. Took me several chapters to catch on. But there's no need to do that shit now. The whole goddamn book is plagiarized. One of the dumbass things that she said that I think she wrote herself was, quote, "It did not take long, though, to know that most of the information on media sources was made up information," end quote. What the fuck are you talking about, Scribble? This needed to be expanded upon. It was a very bold and libelous statement. You can't play around with the truth. You were talking about, quote, "made up information," yet you do not say how you came to this conclusion. Did you assume it was made up because there was no one from which to copy? And then this bullshit. This is plagiarized too. Quote, "This book is my account based on extensive research of what led up to and during the murders and what has transpired since," end quote. Extensive research, yes, but not yours. You didn't even write this sentence. It was copied from the real author's book. The rest of the shit you copied from police, CBI, FBI agents, and every other professional that worked on that crime, plus all the other people you plagiarized from on different websites and stuff about your research shows bullshit. Not one citing of your sources. Quote, "My information for this book was given to me by Christopher himself, along with his family and some friends," end quote. Lie. How the hell does she have the nerve to say that? It was cop. Why the hell would she not say the Discovery documents too? She acts like she talked to these people. No, these were the police and FBI and CBI interviews. She replicated, cloned, forged, faked, falsified, counterfeited, bootlegged, imitated, mimicked, emulated, mirrored, poached, stole, infringed the copyright of, pirated, ripped off, and of course plagiarized. Under the acknowledgments, it says that the book was edited by Gail Murhowski. A quick Google search shows that she works for Hammond Baptist Schools teaching English 10th and 12th grades. God, please help those children. Should we write the Board of Education in that district? There was too much generalization in this book. She didn't go into depth. Of course, she didn't know how because she doesn't know how to write. We all know so much about this case. We wanted new and shiny shit. She talked to Chris Asshat Watts, for God's sakes. Her flipping broad statements throughout the books, because she didn't know how to expand and write. She was just vague as shit. She lacked the specifics and details and failed to clarify the meaning of a great number of things. I truly think she was hoping we wouldn't notice and we would just say, "Wow, that's profound." But I know now that she did nothing but copy from others, and it pisses me off to no end. There's not much else to say because I had come up with my final thoughts before I found out all of the plagiarizing shit. None of that matters now, and I'm quite pissed that I've wasted my time on this. I'm pissed that I wasted my money. It's a waste of space in my house. I prefer Kindle books anyway. This was an inadequate return of my money, to say the least. If you ever want me to wipe my hands of you, simply lie to me. I fucking hate liars. They give me heartburn and make my skin crawl. This lying bitch is making me fucking insane. Soon, I was hearing some very dark and interesting things that Christopher had not shared with authorities. Well, were there more of the dark and interesting things that you did not tell us in the book? Because all of that is hogwash now. I don't believe shit. He's a liar, you're a liar. All of that shit was very vague and unconfirmed that you told us. Like, you say shit like dark and interesting things and just leave it there. I'm still waiting for the next sentence. You know nothing. She knows nothing. I hope she is exposed further. Disclaimer, this is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. Scribble and christen shit. Y'all both are wicked, moronic, vile, biological waste, bitch-ass dimwit, deceiving monstrosity, bitch-face, perjuring, crack whore, freak, scumbag, dictard, heinous, lying, pieces of egotistical, jerk-off, decaying, besmirched chicken shit. And I hope you both give each other nightmares and wet the fucking bed tonight. So piss off. Anyone else thinking of writing a Chris Watts book and you think it's easy by copying and pasting? Don't. Just don't. I will come after you. So right now I am not going to do a review on this so-called missing chapter. If ever I calm down from being so pissed off at this so-called book writer, I may reconsider. But what is the point? It's just made up shit from this lying piece of shit. Like I said, he lies and she lies. I really need a break from her. I'm not joking when I say my health actually depends on it. I don't do well with unsavory, repugnant people like her. How dare she? I am going to slam off to bed, and that will be the end of this horrid video. I just can't go on with any more of this. I will pick up with the new My Daddy is a Zero book in my next video. Thank you for listening.